Hey guys, good morning. It is a gorgeous morning in Italy, and I wanted to just kind of share the realities of travel. Just around the corner of the house here, there's this spectacular view of Mount Vesuvius and the Bay of Naples, right? But the Wi-Fi stinks over there, so you guys get a view of this, which is like nothing, right? It's one of those funny things. And then down here by Naples and Pompeii, it's interesting. It's really kind of chaotic and like in the towns. We're in like the calmer area, and there's like a jackhammer next door and barking dogs, and the houses are all packed in real tight, and I mean tiny narrow roads where like it takes you forever to get off this mountain because of these winding tight roads and waiting for cars to pass. Um, and it's interesting. And yesterday we went and climbed Mount Vesuvius, and man, it was awesome. Literally one of the most beautiful views I've ever seen. From the top of Vesuvius, you see the whole Naples Bay and Pompeii and the mountains back behind. I mean, really gorgeous. And there was three full-time traveling families. We went up there, and at some point, every one of us had a crying kid, and it was exhausting. I ended up with two kids coming off the mountain, which was a fantastic workout, right? But I love it. I love the workout. It was tiring. It was exhausting. It was fun. Windy and crazy cold up there, but right, all worth it. Tough. The reality is, we had to spend hours and hours and hours looking for a place to stay, and then unexpected expenses. Like you get, everything's like, oh yeah, it'll cost this, and you get there and it's like it'll cost more. And so it's not always glamorous. It's not always just like, yeah. It's not like this endless vacation. One one of the big frustrations that we've been experiencing for like the last month is none of these places have a dryer, and so we're washing clothes for 9 people, and especially little kids and little babies that are dirtying their clothes, and what what do you do? So we're like hanging them on like these radiant heaters. We're hanging them out for days at a time, trying to get anything to dry, and behind on laundry. And so please don't misunderstand me. I'm not complaining here, but what I'm sharing is just the realities behind full-time travel, right? It's not all glamour. It's not all the endless vacation. There's just the realities of travel.
The realities behind my Instagram photos.
And yeah, so right, we share our best pictures on Instagram, right? Because we want to share like the best stuff. But then you're like, oh man, some of these other parts. Now this is pretty cool right here. You see all the smog out there, and that's the hillside. It's pretty. But then if I could show you down down in the valley, and as we're driving up here, and like some of the things, we went into town last weekend and ended up going through a really sketchy area, and it's like, whoo. And so it has both, of course, right? And you knew that. And hi, Carissa. And it's just you get to experience the good and the bad. And sometimes we have these expectations. We want it to be more like this. They should do this or should do that. And I guess what we've really learned in traveling, and seriously reminded here in yeah, exactly, Jessica. Always hanging laundry everywhere, right? And you're like, come on, I just gotta dry something. So we'll like pick the most important clothes and put those on the heater, and then everything else takes days. But is it worth it? Right? Is it still worth it to travel with 7 kids? And some of the sleepless nights and some of the really difficult hikes or whatever. You go to this museum that you've wanted to see your whole life, and the kids are like, can we leave yet? This is so boring. Right? And you're like, oh, but is it worth it? Man, I totally think so. I think it's totally worth it. The highs and some of the lows, and let's be honest, right? The lows aren't that bad. Like sometimes we'll just have to reality check ourselves. Rachel and I will be sitting there like, oh, this is so frustrating. They're like, then we kind of joke. We're like, oh, our life is so hard. It's so miserable, right? And we joke about okay, yeah, there's some inconveniences, but totally still awesome. So I don't know. That was for me. We're right here, literally on the other side of my house are the mountains with the Amalfi Coast, which is amazing. Right behind me is Mount Vesuvius and the bay, gorgeous. And then over here in town, it's kind of rough and kind of chaotic, kind of crazy driving and kind of dirty. So it's all here, and you just take it in and you learn from it. You embrace it. You connect with the people as best you can. You love the place. So I'm still I'm still in, right? We've been traveling for 10 years now. Totally 10 years and still worth it. Still awesome. Still going to go out and keep traveling. And the inconveniences come and you're like, well, we just keep going anyways, right? So today we're going to the ruins of Pompeii to see that and man, big reminder here. We saw that yesterday when we were on Mount Vesuvius. Like that was a day of reckoning. And that thing blew up and they were just like, that was it. And it just made me think, what are we doing with our lives? Are we trying to make each day matter, even when we're doing the laundry and hanging up all these wet clothes? Wet clothes everywhere. You got a disaster. There's no shower curtain or like we're in this place right now has one toilet and there's 10 of us here. And we're like, right? Is it worth it? Yeah. So even on those days, you're still making the best of it. Still trying to live your best. And so I don't know. That's kind of my message today. Let's get out and really live life. Whatever we're doing, just make it matter. Remember your relationships. Remember to do the things that matter most, and get out and have an awesome day. Do something cool. Do something special. Tell the people you love that you love them, and let's just go have an awesome day. Even with the inconveniences, even with the ups and downs, still worth it. Still worth being happy and living a great life. So, you guys are awesome. Have a fantastic day. Reach upward.